And a dispute is an argument, right? And a judicial having to do with the justice system, and usually with judges in a court, right? And real estate is land, buildings, property, any of that kind of stuff. And aspect is a part or a feature or a phase or a side of something, right? So all these contracts or agreements have different aspects. One person has to do one thing and another person has to do another thing, right? And a scenario, we said, was a projected sequence of events, so that would be something that may happen in the future, right? If one thing happens, it'll cause a different result than if another thing happens, right? And when something unfolds, it becomes clear or known. It's not hidden anymore. Compulsory is required or obligatory. Okay, so we've got a lot of these words that we'll see, nouns and verbs, and this is an adjective here, and they all come from that word oblige, right? It's something you have to do. Okay, we have oblige and obligatory and obligation. Okay, all of those words come from the same root there. And something that's abstruse is hard to understand. And when we incorporate something in something else, we include it. Include parts into a whole. Okay. Angel categorize, as we said, was to put into groups. The same thing in different groups, right? So, the first thing we want to do is get it in writing. Okay? So, although oral agreements are legal and binding in many situations, they're often difficult to enforce in court. And in some situations, they aren't enforceable at all. Okay, so sometimes if you try to get an oral agreement in court, the judge won't even accept your case there. Okay, in the business world, most agreements should be in writing, even if the law doesn't require it. That way, both sides are protected, right? A written agreement is less risky than an oral agreement because you have a document that clearly spells out each party's rights and obligations in case of confusion or disagreement. So a written agreement then spells out things each party has to do, right? So spells out or describes clearly all these obligations, okay? Things required for you to do. Okay, so that way, in case there's confusion or disagreement, you'll have a document that clearly describes everything. Okay. And the second one is keep it simple. So contrary to what most lawyers think, you don't need a lot of these legal language, heretofores, and party of the first part legalese to make a contract enforceable. Instead, create short, clear sentences with simple, numbered paragraph headings that alert the reader to what's in the paragraphs. And we've said this, we don't need this heretofore and party of the first part legalese, okay? And this is contrary to what lawyers will tell you, which is the opposite of what is true, right? Okay? So, if we get all of these short, clear sentences, they won't have anything to do, right? Okay. 则